All right. We're gonna start in Genesis 18 and 18 and 1. Now this is the story of Abraham, but it's so applicable and applicable that we can apply that to us. Okay. When we begin to look at the life of Abraham, I want you to place yourself there, because God always have covenant in mind with his people. Somebody say covenant. Covenant. It's always covenant. It's never about no one individual. God throughout the scriptures always used people to fulfill his covenant while blessing the individual that's following his covenant. Now let me ask this question. In following God, and God promised you something, will there be opposition? Yes. Will there be some resistance? Yes. Will there be some setbacks and failures? Yes. But will God forget his covenant? No. Stick with the plan. So as we go through Abraham's experience, let's apply and let's pull some nuggets that would make this apply to us. Okay? All right. Let me read this intro. Most people in the world today are stuck between a decision and a problem. Somebody say a decision and problem. A decision and a problem. That's what most of us are stuck with. Meaning a lot of people make bad decisions that end up with a big problem. Do y'all see that? Most people in the world today are stuck between a decision and a problem. Meaning that a lot of people make bad decisions, bad choices that end up with a big problem. Okay? So while trying to solve one problem they currently in, it only creates another problem on top of that. Yeah. Make sense? Which leads to failure, disappointments, discouragements. In this day and hour, we need the help from the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ as never before. Right? So before we make another decision, somebody say another decision. Another decision. That can turn into a potential problem. Somebody say potential problem. Potential problem. Let's ask ourselves, this is my title, is anything too hard for the Lord? Okay? Let's pray. Lord Jesus, lead and guide us in all wisdom. We acknowledge you as having all wisdom and power. Lord Jesus, we submit ourselves to your Lordship. We are thankful that you sent your son Jesus to die for our sin and to redeem us. We are forever grateful. And everybody said? Amen. All right, let me read this quote from a person named Augustus Toledo. It says, the religion of Christ runs counter to all the rest by affirming that we are saved and called with a holy call, not according to our works, but according to the Father's own purpose and call. Y'all see this? It has nothing to do with us. So we're going to read Genesis 18 and 1. He said, and the Lord appeared unto him in the plain of Mamre, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself toward the ground, and said, my Lord, if I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Verse 4. And a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts, after that ye have passed home. And for therefore are ye come to your servant, and they say, so do. This is what the angel says, so do, as thou hast said. Be careful about how you make promises, because sometimes you could be entertaining angels, and you're not even aware. Okay? All right. And Abraham hastened to the tent unto Sarah, and said, make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes upon the earth. And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf, tender and good, and gave his best, and gave it to the young man. And he hastened to dress it. And he took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. He was watching. He was pleased. In other words, he just didn't give no any type of offering. He gave his best. And he said, watch to see whether or not if they were satisfied. Does this make sense? Okay. Verse 10. And he said, I will certainly return. Oh, I'm sorry. Verse 9. And they said unto him, where is Sarah thy wife? Always covenant, always two. And he said, behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. Somebody say the time of life. That means that God hasn't forgot. That means it's covenant. They don't even know what the covenant is, but he said, I'm going to return to the time of life. That means something's getting ready to give birth. All right? Okay. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. That means that somewhere in the time of life, in the time of span of what's going on, what God has promised is going to be fulfilled, but it's going to be a new birth. Okay? Hold on to the promise. Stay faithful. Walk in the covenant. Receive the covenant, because the covenant will not die. It's just God is doing everything in His time. Somebody say His time.
His time.
Okay. Don't try to make things happen. Just trust the process. Watch this here. And verse 10. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. And Abraham and Sarah were old. Somebody say I'm old. But I can. Come on. And I'm still able. To receive the promise. All right. And well stricken in age. And it ceased to be with Sarah of the man of woman. She could have no children. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself. Look how God can search the heart. Y'all see this? God can search the heart. She laughed within her. She wasn't it wasn't that. She just, like, okay, move right on. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also. And the Lord said unto Abraham, wherefore did Felicia laugh? Wherefore did April laugh? Y'all see this? See how you make it personal? In other words, when God says something or promise you something that you think is impossible, we say is impossible. So the Lord is saying, why is you laughing? Why are you doubting? This is the form of why are you doubting? Okay? It's like, yeah, right, Now watch this here. Verse 14. He said, let me go back to verse 13. And the Lord said unto Abraham, wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, shall I surely bear a child, which I am old? Shall I get my degree while I'm old? Shall I buy this house while I'm old? Do y'all see this? It sounds applicable in the Bible today. And the Lord said in verse 14, is anything too hard for the Lord? Is anything too hard? Too hard. You have to know when God is saying something that's applicable and applicable to you in your situation. You cannot give up on God by looking at your situation. Do this make sense? Okay. Don't ever let nobody discourage you by what God has told you, even if you've forgotten, because the enemy is real slick. You can forget the promise of what God has said, and then somebody else can come and say something contrary to what God has promised, and you buy into that will kill it. So now the covenant is still there, the promise is still there, but you will be so off the line that the promises was right here, you pushed it off because of unbelief. Does this make sense? Let's go to Genesis 12. Let's go to Genesis 12. 12 and 1. This is going to be real interesting. Now, we're reading this story about Abram. You can put this to yourself because it is real, it is applicable and applicable. We will learn some life lessons. It says, now the Lord said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that which I show thee. And I will make thee a great nation. And I will bless thee. And I will make thy name great. And thou shalt be a what? Not a curse. Y'all see that? Okay. And I will bless thee, bless them that bless who? And curse him that curse who? He's talking about Israel, but simultaneously he's talking about anybody that's in covenant with him. Do you see? People don't really realize how the seriousness about when they really slander you and talk about you, that, you know what, before God does it, God has somebody praying for them that the wrath won't fall on them. Isn't that something? But the day that somebody ceases from praying about the person who's cursing you, God's word has to be performed. A curse has to show up on their life. All right. Watch this here. What verse? What? Oh. So Abram departed, and as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him, and Abram was what? 75. Okay, now watch this here. Now let's go back up to verse 1. Here's some nuggets. 4 things. The Lord first appeared unto Abram in Genesis 12 and commanded him to do 4 things. Now watch how real that was back then is so applicable right now. Somebody say right now.
Right now.
Watch this here. Track yourself and see if this is right. Now the Lord had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country. And the number 1 thing that God told Abram to do is get out of thy country. All of us is from every walk of life. I'm from Philly. Ain't no telling. Felicia's really hometown is Houston. Of course I know, right? LaShannon's from where? Louisiana. Yes. April's from where? Dayton. Indiana. Y'all originally America, Louisiana. Do you see? Oh boy, this is set up here. This is set up here. Watch this here. This next thing he said, get from thy who? That's number 2. Most of us are from our kindreds, our people. You see how real this is? You see how something way back then is so real right now. Right? With that 3rd thing, he said, now get out of our father's house. How many of us are living in our father's house? None. Do you see it? The last thing he said, go to a land or a place I will show you. Now this is the danger where a lot of people stop. Number 1, they don't get out of their own country. They stay at home forever. Even when times is tough, they stay there. I ain't going nowhere. Right? They can't stay away from their people. And the people is the biggest hindrance. Do y'all see this?
Yes, sir.
You see how real this is? Or this is just me? Watch this here. And from your father's house. That's the curse. That's the curse. Right? And go to the land or the place I will show you. This goes somewhere. I don't care where you go. Just get away from those 3 things. Do you see? Watch this here. Question. Do you know why God commanded us to do what he said? Number 1, he is God because he said so. He told Abram to do it because he said so. Right? Yeah. I didn't see anything with Abraham. Oh, no. He didn't say that. He heard God. Here's the kid. He didn't even know who God was. Because they served, they had their own God in their father's house. They sacrificed people. That's why Abram was real quick to raise that knife up on his boy. That's what they did back then. That was or they come get on the altar. That's what they did. Didn't the angel tell Abram, don't do it, for I know? That's what they did. They sacrificed their children to Molech. They sacrificed their children to Shemos, to Asherah. That was the custom of the times. Do you see? He said, well, hold your hand for. Then what the Lord said? The Lord said, I know that you love me. Do you see this? Shoot. You can't tell me. I know. Watch the number 2. Why do you think God commanded us to do what he says? Number 2, so he can continue to bless us. As long as you stay at your mama's house, as long as you stay in that country, as long as you stay around those people, he cannot bless you because they're going to deter you from everything what he said.
Yes, Lord.
The power of agreement. We grew up with our family. We know them. It's so familiar. Ain't God didn't tell you. You know, you be like, well, you right. He'll tell you he ain't even say it. Watch this here. God don't bless disobedience. Does that make sense? Obeying him is vital for our growth, trust, and relationship in the Lord. Abraham had to get away from them so he can grow and trust and build a relationship in the Lord. This is one of the reasons why we're here. If you would have told us 20 years ago that we'd be sitting here in where we were, where in our respective places of where we were, you'd be thumbing through the internet trying to find out who his mercy was, and we'll be sitting up there trying to tell you ain't no such thing as mercy. I knew that God called me to do something, but it wasn't going to be in Beaumont. You see? And you're probably thinking the same thing. You probably start rebuking. Number 3, to help in fulfilling God's agenda. Abraham was fulfilling God's agenda, even though he didn't even know what the agenda was. He just told him to get up and leave, right? And as we read further down, then he started sharing the plan. Most of the time we are stuck because when God tells us to do something, and because we don't have the full picture in front of us, the devil's saying, don't do it. Have you ever gone? Did God really say that? And we stay stuck in our own country, among our people, and among our Father's house.
That's good.
Y'all see what I'm saying? All right, number 4, separation. God always speaks to us alone. There's not a prophet in the Bible that God has spoke openly to the people and said, follow me. No. He always pulled a man or woman of God, boy or daughter, son or daughter, to him, then go before the people. Our salvation experiences came silently, but we went down the aisle openly. Does this make sense? All right. I accept the Lord as my trust. Oh, you didn't confess Jesus before people? Did he say, profess me before men, and I'll profess you before because see, when Jesus took that, did Jesus took that whipping in the closet back there? No. I ain't gonna let nobody see these lashes. He took that openly, right? Yeah. He let them cuss him. How many people let us cuss us open? All right, watch this here. Verse 2. Watch this here. I will make thee a great nation. Right? And I will bless thee, and I will make thy name great. And so shall thou be a blessing. Verse 3. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curse thee. And in thee all families of the earth shall be what? Blessed. All right, let's break this down. God showed him the vision without any evidence of how the promise will take place. Most people, they want to find the vision by going to somebody else that has a form of godliness, but what? Deny the power. That's a familiar spirit that's connected to your Father's house, that when it fails, it sends you back. That's why a lot of college kids and a lot of people who go out, when they go out there into the unknown thinking that they know. Now we all been there, right? Yeah. We all been there. But once you get a taste of that world, and once you get a taste of responsibility, and you get your water cut off, you get your lights cut off, you get your gas cut off, all of a sudden the first place we say to ourselves, where the devil suggests to us, go on back home. You see? But not knowing that we find our purpose and we find our plan in God out there. Jesus left his hometown. Why? Why did Jesus leave his hometown? Because he couldn't perform any miracles there. We can't do any miracles in our home because a lot of people know us. Try to raise the dead in your own home. But girl, go sit down. At 5 years old, you hit me across the head with that bell. They were hitting the miracle right there because they didn't get over something. They would never allow you to be saved.
That's it.
Watch this here. Your children, look here, y'all. Y'all children, your husbands, your wives, all you got to do is take them off. They will never allow you to stay safe. So you better know who you are. Amen. So watch this here. When we do it God's way, we find purpose for living. You don't need Deepak Chopra or Oprah Winfrey or T.D. Jakes in trying to find your purpose.
Hallelujah.
Right? Stick with the Bible and listen for the Holy Spirit's direction.
Amen.
And the church said?
Amen.
John 16:13. John 16:13. I got to hurry. John 16:13. This is you got to stick with the plan. Once you stick with the plan and you follow God's direction, you will have no problem. We're learning nuggets from Abraham. John 16:13 says this: howbeit, when the Spirit of truth is come, he will guide you into some truth. He will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself. He ain't speaking. He ain't hearing grandma. He ain't hearing cousin. He ain't hearing Aunt Boo-Boo. He ain't hearing none of those people. He ain't speaking of himself. That means that Jesus is God Almighty. I mean, Jesus, and all the whole nine yards. But he is still referring himself to the Father. So that means that we don't refer to anybody except who? To the Father. Right? He said, whatsoever he shall hear, that he speak, and he will show you things to come. He was showing Abraham things to come, but he could never get the promise over until Abraham left his pappy, left his country, and left his nutty family. We get stuck in one of the three. Do you see? When you walk with God, if God show you that in the house, the dream will become null and void. Because you're going to have people in your house that's going to criticize you and you're going to go to college. Yeah, right. Now you got to force yourself to prove to them, and then when you get the degree, you ain't satisfied with that degree. Because it's outside of God's purpose and plan. It was God's plan for you to go to college. It was God's plan for you to build that business. It was God's plan for you to step out and launch out into the deep. But because of pressure, instead of listening to God, the pressure was the one that made you make the wrong decisions outside of God to prove to them that you can do it.
Yeah, good, Pastor.
Do you see it? All right, let's go to Jeremiah 7:23. 23. Jeremiah 7:23. I'm just trying to show you that Abraham didn't move, y'all. He did not move. 7:23. He did not move outside of God. He stuck with the covenant.
Yes.
Watch this here. But this thing command I them, saying, obey my voice. Somebody said my voice.
My voice.
And I will be your God. So he said, you obey my voice, I'll be your God. You see this? I ain't that smart to make that up. Now, some pastors say that to themselves. You tell the congregation, obey my voice. Now, what did I say? Buy me a car. Y'all be like, hey, I didn't hear the voice of God. Okay, if you didn't hear the voice of God then, now believe it when it come out of the scriptures. It depends on how we believe we want to believe. Please, give me $10. Okay, you don't have to bless me. The pastor stepped on $10 for this. But you should get up and just walk clear out the door. Because that ain't God. That ain't scripture. The Bible said that a prophet is deserving of double honor, but not like that. Does this make sense? Watch this here. Move right on. I have to throw that out there because it's going on in there. Somebody need to hear that out here in Pittsburgh. Watch this. It says, but this thing I command I them, saying, obey my voice, and I will be your God, and you shall be my what? If you obey his voice, he'll be your God, and you shall be his people. Now check this out now. And walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be what? You see that? It will be well. So it was well with Abraham. It was well with him because he obeyed God. We can use that principle. Watch this here. Deuteronomy 11:13. Deuteronomy 11:13. This stuff here blesses me because I know that I can track myself in this here. All I got to do is drop my agenda and follow Abraham's agenda. Watch this here. Deuteronomy 11:13. It says, it shall come to pass, if ye hearken diligently unto my commandments, which I command you this day, that means today, to love the Lord your God, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. Verse 14. Then I will give you the rain of your land in his due season. For the rain and the latter rain, that thou mayest gather thy corn, thy wine, and thy oil. And I will send grass in thy field for thy cattle, that thou mayest eat and be full. You don't have to go out there and work as hard. That's saying today, if you bless the Lord, you walk in his ways, you just keep the covenant that he has told you. You don't have to work that overtime.
Yeah, come on.
Oh yeah. You don't have to worrying about what's going on because he got that.
Yeah.
See, this last part where it says, verse 15, he said, I will send grass in thy field. See, that's the people who's working overtime. They're just kicking that overtime in the teeth. He said, I will send grass to thy field. In other words, where you're lacking, I'm going to feed your cattle. I'm going to feed your cattle. I'm going to take care of that other part that's been lacking. That thou mayest eat and be full. In other words, those extra bills, those extra things that's been where you've been struggling in, that somebody's been stealing your cattle. Somebody, in other words, you're supposed to be making this, but your bills is outweighing this. So something is eating. He said he's going to stop at the bowel where it will be enough and more than enough. Hallelujah. Do that make sense? Hallelujah. Question. Since your conversion, do you know what God's plan is for your life? Since your conversion, do you know what God's plan is for your life? Remember, the reason why we make so many bad decisions that turns into a big problem is because we haven't totally submitted to the Lordship of Christ. This man submitted to the Lordship of Christ. That's why he was able to be blessed like that. Do y'all see what we can learn from this guy? Yeah. Watch this here. Somebody will say, I did all that. I did everything with the Lord. Well, you should be blessed. Because the Bible said that God is no respecter of person. So if he did it for A, shouldn't he do it for? All right now. Okay. Watch this here. It was no doubt Abraham had his problems. Because he had his own moments when he walked clearly in the flesh. Okay? However, he never deviated from God's purpose and God's plan. He had his weaknesses in the flesh, but he never deviated from God's purpose and God's plan. Though we are not perfect in the flesh, we never should deviate from God's purpose and God's plan. The problem is when we get caught up in the flesh, we get so far out there that we deviate from what God told us in 74. We deviate from God's purpose, what God told us in 85, in 92, in 2005. You see how this thing works? Because the enemy wants to make that problem what you're dealing with so big until you forget about the purpose and the plan that God has called in your life. Okay? Hope this is blessing. Watch this here. Watch this here. It says Genesis 15. Genesis 15 and 6. Even though Abraham had his problems in the flesh, because remember Abraham produced a child that God said that wasn't the seed, the promised seed through his handmaiden. So God still remembered the covenant. In Genesis 15 and 6, it says, and he believed in the Lord, and he counted it to him for what? Righteousness. Though Abraham made some terrible mistakes that we are feeling the effects of it today, he never deviated from what God has told him. He stuck with the plan. He left his father's house, he left his kin people, and he left his country. So he was still 100% dependent upon God. He still didn't know where God wanted to take him. He was still on the route. He was still on the plan. He was still on the path. Don't get off the path because you mess up. Just repent. The Bible says that godly sorrow leads to repentance. Godly sorrow will lead you back to righteousness, but do not deviate from the plan. If God called you to be a prophet back in 2006, then don't deviate from it. Don't try to be an evangelist. Be a prophet.
Amen.
Does this make sense? If God told you to start a business in 85, don't look. People, black folks is the only people that try to sell you things that you don't need because they want that dollar. You sell hamburgers, but somebody say, is this a lemonade stand? No, we can make it. No, you make hamburgers.
Right.
But you gotta have something to drink to wash all that down. We don't go to the store, go to the Kroger, go get some lemons. No, man, no. Just give me some bottled water. Just give me some. It's all right that you don't have lemon or lemonade, man. You sell hamburgers. Isn't that what your sign said there? Hamburgers.
Right.
Do you see?
Amen.
We the only people that want to sell everybody something that we don't have. Stick with the process. Because the moment that we go outside of what God has promised us, the devil's going to step in and you forget all about it. McDonald's has to sell everything now. It was a time when McDonald's wouldn't sell you breakfast, but they deviated from the Big Mac. The Big Mac is the #1 seller, and the kids go crazy when they see those golden arches because besides the Big Mac, they is known for what? Happy Meals. I haven't saw a Happy Meal commercial and the big Ronald McDonald clown in a long time. They was known for that. Now they you can get coffee, iced coffee, you can get a salad, you can get a parfait, but I never hear them mention the Happy Meal no more. Nor the Big Mac. So now you know what they have to do? They have to sell everything and work overtime to stay in business. That's not the desired plan. They deviated from the plan. You see how things can get out of order? So now you got to close down some McDonald's. Now you got to close down some things that God has opened for you.
Amen.
Now that job is not, that was such a blessing to you now, it's not a blessing no more. Because we're doing something out of order or we adding to what God said, man, that's far from the plan. Stick with the plan. If he told you to raise oranges, stick with it. It may not seem like it's yielding its fruit right now, but if you stick with it, he promised you something back there. Because it's not yielding its strength, that should give you the strength to go back to the promise. Because if you go back and look at the promise, it's going to give you the strength to stand when it's not functioning the way it's supposed to function. We don't see this church forever staying like this, but if it does, bless the Lord, but we go back to the promise. You called us. What does word say? The harvest is what? Plentiful. But the laborers are what? There are more wicked people than laborers, isn't it? That's right. So we're going to stay here till the ground until God gives the increase. We don't go by what we see. We're not moved by what we see. I don't like Felicia because she because she don't look good all the time. She look good all the time. I have to say that. You know, because the thing is, the fact of the matter is she does. Ain't that right? That's right. So the thing, okay. So the thing is that I don't throw away because she, because I hadn't seen her. She ain't dressed up the way that oh, shut up with all that. All I'm allowed to pass gas from time to time. Oh, I'm divorcing you. You didn't do that when we first dated. Well, wait a minute. How about this? When God saw something even more wicked in us, he never deviated from the plan. He still said, I got a purpose in the plan. Go and bring pass gas all you want. The gas is going to stink only for a little while. You just going to learn how to know when to break wind. You just can't break wind when you want to break wind. You're going to have to break it. Oh, yeah, God is so good. It was accounted up to him for righteousness. It's as believers in Christ, we're going to make a lot of mistakes. But remain faithful. Don't abandon the purposes that the Lord has for your life. Don't abandon the purposes that God has for your life. If it's tough, it's supposed to be tough because many of the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord promised them in covenant because he's going to deliver you out of them all. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good place to clap right there. Come on, y'all. That's a good place to clap right there. Watch this here. Don't abandon the purpose. Learn to Abraham. Abraham believed God. Do you see this? No. It is impossible for any of us to be misled when we have a clear and concise plan from the Almighty. Most believers hear the message, they walk down the aisle to get saved, they give their heart to the Lord, they go get baptized, they will get taught, but they don't have no purpose and no plan, so they backslide. Or they become wayward in the thinking, or other things begin to surface. The other things is the things where the devil has been there for so long, but he's not been extracted out. So what he's doing, he's manifesting himself in particular areas of our life, such as our marriage, our businesses, our children, our relatives. He's starting manifesting to shake us, to have us believe that nothing's happening, but we're looking with our eyes, y'all. And when you don't have nobody there to tell you how to fight and engage the enemy, then we get discouraged. So we be saved, but we still cuss. We be saved, but we still smoke. We be saved, but we still have a certain type of attitude, because nobody is there to cultivate the ground to tell us in a particular area where the devil is ruling and reigning, that you can shut his mouth.
Come on. Hallelujah.
Oh yeah. And we forget covenant because we wind up fighting the devil over here, and God is saying, I don't want to move forward. I just ask you to follow me. If you just follow me, that last day is going to cease, because where you are in me, the devil can't keep following you. Okay? Anytime that the devil ain't engaged Christ crushed his head with that tail, the devil ran with his ears down and his tail tucked, and what the devil say? I'll be back in another season. He cannot stay there permanently if you follow in Christ. He cannot do it. He cannot stay there. So just hold on. This change is coming. All you gotta do is hold on. Somebody say, stay with the plan.
Stay with the plan.
Stay with the plan. Just stay with the plan. Watch this here. Our God is flawless, well balanced, well organized. Nothing in him is out of place. Our God is awesome. So follow the plan. Just stick with I'm going to stick with it all my life. That's covenant. I met her. God said, you can't keep her. I'm going to keep her. As long as you follow me, you get to keep her.
Amen.
See how this works? If the jobs, the children going to grow. They going to grow. And that's the plan. That's the plan. But what if God is saying, what if God say, you know what, man? You know what? I want you to start this. And I say, well, this is what I want. And she don't agree. Don't the Holy Spirit deal with her too? Amen. He would get on board if God helped me. If God helped me to see the vision, he gonna get her too.
Come on, Pastor.
Okay. You may have some relatives or some people who refuse to come to church, who refuse to serve God. If you can remember the covenant what God has told you, if he can save you, he can save them. That's covenant.
Amen.
Just follow the plan.
Amen.
Follow the plan. Watch this here. Watch this here. I'm almost done. Abraham had a reason to follow God. His home life had to have been jacked up, y'all. See how it's real to us? Ain't our homes jacked up? Oh yeah, watch this here. Somebody say this here. Thank God.
Thank God.
It's a whole lot better than that.
It's a whole lot better now.
It was jacked up. His house had to be jacked up in order for God to say, how can I fix this? I can't even fix this. So Abe, leave. Now, a worldly Christian, or a person who had not had an experience with God that limits God and magnifies the devil, would say, well, God is in charge of everything. If it won't happen, if it happens, it's only because God. No, you got a decision in this thing. Abraham's people had a decision, and God saw him. He can work through him. God saw you. He looked at everybody that was crazy in your family and said, I'm going to work through you. Oh, you better. That's another run around the church. Thank you. You know, he chose to work through you. Look at it. I love my brothers and my sisters. I love everybody in my family, but I thank God called me because I ain't crazy. I ain't none of that 10 fruit cake. I ain't like that road lizard that's out there saying, I can outrun that 18-wheeler. As slow as I am, I get right in the middle of the street and I'm trying to change colors so that like the truck don't see me. And I'm stuck on the tires of the 18-wheeler like this. I knew I could make it. Somebody, And another lizard is saying, you see, Larry, that's the reason why we don't cross the road. We stay over here. Yeah, see? Okay. Okay. Watch this here. His home life had to be jacked up. If it had not been so, God would have did the work right then and there. If God wanted you to have your family to come where God wants you to go, he would have did the work right there. Right? And God would have did the work in your whole family. Now here's the problem where the devil is real genius. He can get that rascal some pride. Watch this here. The problem, the majority of saved people want to include their family in God's plan and what he commanded them to do, not them. I think that's worthwhile saying again. I think I feel a little anointed on that. Again, the majority of saved people want to include their family in God's plan. Somebody say God's plan.
God's plan.
If it's God's plan, it don't have anything to do with you. God is using you because he created you. He put you on the potter. You're his vessel, so you do what he say. So therefore he calls the shots. Why we think we call the shots? I'm going to pray to God and God will move. No. You can pray to the cows come home. If it's going to violate covenant, God will not do it.
No, come on.
All right, I'm preaching to myself right now. He's telling me to take my hands off some things. Watch this here. He didn't call Abraham's family. He called Abraham. God did not call your family. He called you. Stop trying to save everybody in the family, on the job, in the street. If I could just get up a word. Isn't it funny how you can be reading the word and the devil tell you that's for them, and you can't wait to go tell them when the Lord said no, that's for you. And then when you go, this is the strength where you can tell where it was for you. It turns into an argument when you tell them. You be like, but the Lord said, but I know what the Lord, I got it with the Lord. But that's not me. Oh, devil, you won. One for the devil. Because that was for you. Anytime that we read the word of God, it's personalizing it to us, not to everybody else, because God is calling us at that time when we're reading the word of God. Now, when God begins to let you have insight into what everybody else is doing, you have to be master over what he showed you first before you can show anybody else. It's called getting that demon out your eye. You're right on. Watch this here. God will certainly use, God will use certain individuals. Somebody say certain. Individuals. Come on, say it like you ate breakfast. God will use certain individuals. Say he's talking about me.
He's talking about me.
That's why you're able to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ. Your family and your friends and your partners and your homegirls cannot hear it because he had not called them. But if you stick with the plan and stick with the covenant and get off your track and doing your own thing, God will have them to follow you because you're following covenant.
Amen. Glory to God.
Okay. If you don't think that this thing is personal, that God calls people, you got to call that. Yes, we do. The call of Jeremiah. Go to Jeremiah 1 and 4. Jeremiah 1 and 4. You got to see that. I know we ain't going to be able to meet no people today. So, because I'm following the Lord. Oh, man, I'm ready to go a little bit early today. Watch this here. Jeremiah 1 and 4. He calls individuals to accomplish his will. His will. And we all have a tendency to forgetting this. We all do. Watch this here. It says the words of Jeremiah, the son of Hilkiah, of the priests that were in Anathoth in the land of Benjamin, to whom the word of the Lord came in the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah, in the 13th year. Look how God has broke this thing all the way down. God knows exactly where everybody, look how he broke all this down. I'd have been like, this kid too, man, but he broke it anyway. It says that it came, drop down to verse 4. The word of the Lord came to me saying, before I formed thee in thy belly, I what?
Knew you.
And before thou came forth out of the womb, I was.
Sanctified.
And I did what?
Ordained.
To be what?
Prophet to the nation.
Now watch this here. Do that have anything to do with you? No. He said, look, buddy, I charged your course when you was in the womb. In other words, the devil wants to tackle you in the womb. But I got a hold of you first. And I set your course in life. That's covenant. I want you to go to the nation. Well, let's see what we say today. Let's see what we say. Watch this here. Watch this here. Verse 6. Then said I, then said Ray, oh, God, behold, I cannot speak, for I am just a child. But I can sure cut somebody out, Lord. I can sure tell you what's on my mind. But I can't do what the Lord said because I'm a child. Isn't that something? Watch this here. But the Lord said unto him, say not that I'm a child, but thou shalt go to all that, look at that I shall send thee. And whatsoever I command thee, you gonna speak. Do you see this? Covenant. Jeremiah stuck with covenant, and it brought him all kind of stuff, but he stuck with covenant. Let's go to Exodus 3 and 4. I'm showing you that he called this dude probably, but he called this dude in the womb. Everybody that God called, he tell them to get away from around their people. But he called this guy in the womb. Exodus 3 and 4. Watch this here. And when the Lord saw that watch this, verse 3. And Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, while the bush is not burnt. And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God, somebody say God. God called. Somebody say God called.
God called.
Y'all see that? God called you to do something great. Watch this here. God called him unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, what? Here am I. Verse 5. And he said, draw not neither thither, put off thy shoes from off thy feet, for the place where thou stand is what? Holy. Holy. Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, of the God of who? Abraham, Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses what? Hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. God saw everything about him. When he mentioned those three guys, Moses instantly had to hide his face. In other words, before God had finally revealed himself to us, we was shamed. We was in remorse that a God can know the intimate details of our life like that. Do you see? And watch this. He hid his face. He was afraid. Now watch this come. What? And the Lord said, I have surely seen the afflictions of my people which are in Egypt, and I heard their cry by reason of their taskmaster, and I know their sorrow. And I come down to deliver them out of the hands of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of the land unto a good land, and a large, and unto a land flowing with milk and honey, and unto a place of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites. And he said, I'm sending you. I'm using you. I'm calling you. You have no choice in this matter. Because if you don't, you die. If we don't serve God, we die. If we don't fulfill the covenant, we die. Yeah. Now Moses got up here and started talking smack like you know and stuff. Now, those are excuses. That's the flesh looking at the circumstances that we cannot see going before John Kun, whatever that dude name, and said, you better not shoot another missile. He said, just come over here. Come over here. Come over here. Tell me this to my face over here. It's easy to stand over there in the medical and say, now come over here. I guarantee you, you're right at missile over to the United States. You be sitting over there like this. He told me this. They strap you on. You chain all down. About to hit New York City. Because God told me to go. No. better be in covenant if God told you to go tell this person. You better be in covenant to know that God told you to go say, thus says the Lord. Because when you say, thus says the Lord, you ain't going to have no resistance. And the resistance that you do have, your alternative is going to swallow up theirs. It feels good to know when people be talking smack and God silence their voice for change. You're like, man, this really works. Watch this here. The call of Gideon. Go to Judges 6 and 11. See, I'm showing you that everybody he called, it was in secret, y'all. These people wasn't around, they people.
Yeah.
Watch this here. Judges 6 and 11. Watch this here. I got to show you these things because this encourages us to go back to the covenant. Watch this here. And there came an angel of the Lord and sat under an oak which was in Ophrah, that pertained unto Joash. Is that right? Joash? The Abramite, and the son of Gideon thrashed wheat by the winepress to hide from the Midian. And the angel of the Lord appeared, this he by himself, y'all. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him and said unto him, the Lord is what? Thou mighty man of what?
Right.
He was telling him something that he didn't know was there. In other words, when God finds us, he finds us by ourselves, primarily in a dilemma. And when God begins to deal with us, he begins to show us his purpose and his plan. But the problem is today, remember that the scripture says that we have 10,000 teachers, but not many fathers. When God begins to call us out of the world and he really truly saves us, we have all of these teachers, but we have less fathers to cultivate the vision to push us along the way. Or you go to churches where they tell you to sit there. You've been sitting there since 1812. Like you Asian like old wine. You got all this stuff bubbling in you and nobody comes to cultivate the gift. They just tell you to sit there. Do you see? It's nobody there. Do you see? So the only alternative is you to start doing things contrary to God's purpose that he has called. I'm going to start being a ministry over here. I'm going to start being a garden ministry. I'm going to start being a water hose ministry. I'm going to start being a car wash ministry. Man, you better get somewhere. Because the thing is that you're operating outside because you're not being cultivated by the leadership of the church. Does this make sense? That's why he was hired. Man came to him and told him, you're a mighty man. A mighty man of valor means that he was going to kill a lot of people. He was going to destroy a lot of demons that was demonizing people. But he didn't see it because he was hid. Most of us are hid. When you come hear words like this, it's supposed to stir that thing up in you to say, I can do this because greater is he really is in me. Y'all see this? Another person was Isaiah. Isaiah 45. I got to show you these things because it will encourage you to do what God has called you to do. Isaiah 45 and 4. Isaiah 45 and 4. It says this here. It says, for Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, my elect, I have even called thee by what?
Name.
Who he called? When he called Moses, he called Gideon, he called all these people. When he called you, he didn't say, Tiny, the Jones family, all come on down. He didn't say the Jackson family, come on down. He called me to come down, to save them, but to fulfill his plan. Because when you're doing God's plan, this is going to liberate some of y'all. Your family, your friends, everybody's going to cut you. They're going to cut your hours on your job. They're going to do all of this stuff to you because the devil is beginning to see commitment and confidence. When he begins to see that, he begins to try to rattle your faith. He begins to try to shut things down over here to have you to worry about things over there. Don't you think God see that?
Yes, God. Thank you, Lord.
It's because of covenant and faithfulness. He said, I call you by name. Watch this here. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. I am the Lord, and there is none else. there is no God besides me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me. I called you. I called you when other people rejected you. I have a purpose and I have a plan. I'm going to change your name. I'm going to change everything about you, but you must do what I say.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord.
Last scripture you got to turn there is Matthew 22:14. Many are called, few are chosen. Many. The many is this. The many are called. The many are called is to those who are in covenant with God through the people that God has called. Whoa! You got to see that. Watch this here. Look here. It says, but few are chosen. The few are chosen is going to be the ones that follow the covenant that's going to get the many.
Come on. Amen.
That's how it works. A lot of people always say, many are called, few are chosen. In other words, he called me and not you. No, that ain't work like that. When the few are chosen are the people that God hand selected that said, I chose you to save them. So the scripture almost appeared like it's backwards. Many are called, few are chosen. It means it should have been many are chosen and few. You see it? The new one.
Yeah.
But the people who do God's will and stay in covenant with persecution will be called to use to call many. Something like that. You'll be used to call many people. While you up there in Bangladesh, your children will hear the word of God by somebody else while you're doing God's work. So sometimes it takes somebody else that's totally off your radar that God has raised up for your children, for your employer, for your people to hear their voice, and you'll come back and say, while you was over in Hong Kong, they got saved.
Thank you, Jesus.
That's good right there. Watch this here. God had already promised Abraham in Genesis 7 that he will bless his seed. You must know and understand, man and woman of God, God has to bless you first. He had to get you to trust him first. He had to get you to come into a relationship with him first. Then they come after you. The effectual fervent prayers of a righteous man avails much. That's why when we get up and pray, we don't have to get up. I need to make sure they're all right. Get somewhere. Because that means that your prayers is not effective. If you prayed it by faith and you believe it, go on to work. Go on to sleep. Because as long as you're in covenant, that's all that matters. Right? Watch this here. Your obedience to God determines if they get saved. If Abraham would not have obeyed God, Lot would have been killed. Do y'all see this? There's no time to jump ship. God has been too good and too faithful, and all you got to do is keep looking at the news. It's showing you that he's really on his way.
Yes, sir.
Watch this here. You obey God, your family's coming later. That's a promise from God. You can find that in Acts 2:39. For the promise is unto you and to your children and to all that are abroad. That means if by the Shanna being here, Lulu's up in Oklahoma somewhere, wherever she's at, the promise is up there to her. And matter of fact, she may meet her husband up there. It's a promise even unto his family and those that are far. That's how it works. Sometimes you don't know why you need to call him, you need to call your motherfucker. Like, God, I don't feel like hearing all that bad news, but because that's the devil having me have a poor self-image of who my God is, because God is up there in Philadelphia too. And in Alabama. Y'all see what I'm saying? So if my prayers is that, I'm in a great faith. Okay, so call your folks. Oh, I don't feel like hearing all that mess. You see where the devil can come in? Stick with the plan, stick with the promise. And you'll see. Note this here. The only one that was allowed to go with Abraham was Lot. The Bible does not say or give an explanation. But here's my explanation. Because God knows everything and his wisdom is vast, who can know it except for God himself? The Lord knew that the average home would consist of cousins, nephews, nieces, and etc. Y'all see that? I believe God was saying, it is not my plan for the family to be busted up. And it's not the kids' design that the families be busted up. But it's all right. Because if you can take them in, by all means, God will, however, increase you. He will increase you. And he will bless them because of you. He said, take care of the orphan. Take care of the widow. That's why I believe, though the Bible don't give it no explanation, that was his nephew. He didn't have no reason to take his boy. Take that boy with him, but he took him. I believe that God knew that somewhere down in this time and throughout the future that it was going to be busted up families. The enemy was going to come in. So those cousins, nieces, and nephews need to come in. And God made a safe home for them because it was not their fault.
Hallelujah.
When Adam sinned, it was not my fault, but he took me in. Woo. Thank the Lord. God will remember his promise. He can't let those nieces and nephews go. I can't have an opinion about these kids and these people taking, because I was a product. My aunt took me in. She the one that introduced me to the gospel. She's the reason why I stand here. Do you see what I'm saying? So I believe that that's why God allowed Lot. And because Lot was a part of Abraham and he chose to go, God had to bless them. Your obedience to God, your faithfulness to God may not look like it appears that it's amounting to anything. But you watch and see, once you get a hold of the covenant, every pain, every tear, every heartache, everything that you go through, go back to the covenant. God always reminds all of the patriarchs, even to this day, that when we got caught up into mess, he said, go back and remember the covenant I had established with Abraham and with Isaac and with Jacob. He said he always takes us back to that, because when we got saved, we was joint heirs. Now we are heirs to the promises of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We have a right to the tree of life. So we have hard times and problems. Let's go back to the covenant. God is not slack on his word. I'm taking that for myself. I'm taking that for myself. You know, when we make bad decisions, we create bad problems. Even if you do, ask yourself, is there anything too hard for the Lord? Even in that, we know the story. Abraham made bad decisions and created bad problems. We see this in Genesis 16. We know that he had a child with Hagar, produced Ishmael. You know the story. We made some bad decisions, some bad choices. We still living with today? Don't you think God's seen that? Yeah, you're probably thinking that right now. But you have to ask yourself, is there anything too hard for the Lord? It didn't take God by storm where you at right now. But thank God that he see it all. John 16:33 says this here, these things I have spoken to you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Come on, that's a good place to clap. Hallelujah. I close with this. Because we make mistakes and get out of fellowship with God does not mean that God has not forgotten his promise. You gotta believe that. You gotta believe that. 2 Peter 3:9 says, the Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long-suffering towards us, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. Yes. Here's my famous quote, and I'm done. It's funny sometimes when I lose my way, get off course. My getting off course somehow get me back on course. Because when I realize how much I messed up, it helps me to remember to get back on course. That's the faithfulness of God. That's the faithfulness of God. Romans 2:4 says, oh, despise now the riches of his goodness and forbearance and long suffering, not knowing that the goodness of God leads us to repentance. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Remember this here. Whenever you having all this hell to break out into your life, that's the manifestations of the enemy. He's supposed to do that. Because he's trying to wreck your world by trying to show how great and powerful he is over your prayers, over your tears, over your long suffering, over your heart for God. He has to manifest because that's what he does when somebody prays. That's what he's supposed to do. But God is bringing him to the light because of your prayers, because of your commitment, and because of his covenant. Amen? Come on.
Amen.
All right.